All right. Welcome to another episode of
Wow.
the Contrarian Hour. Yeah, we were on a little bit of a micro hiatus, maybe just trying to sop up the last bits of summer. I need to keep this tan going as long as I can, but we are here. We got some stuff to talk about. And Tyson, you're doing all right these days?
Yeah, it's sort of the inverse of you because we just finished with winter, so no more cold nights and dark days. You know, my friend. Time for fucking tank tops and jandals to come out.
What are jandals? Jean shorts and sandals?
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes I feel culturally, we'll just say in the fashion zeitgeist, a lot of countries are still behind us. I won't say New Zealand is, but sometimes I see clips from, let's just say, countries where there's large wealth disparities and people go to the bathrooms in the streets. They're still wearing a jean shorts and a button up with sandals, maybe. So
you know, the same is for memes as well, right? Like people in the Philippines are probably like just now getting to the Minions meme from Despicable Me. They're probably like, yo, aren't those yellow things cool as fuck? You know?
Apparently, there was one I saw. It was Chinese people making fun of Americans. They say apparently when Americans see memes like this, they slap their knees and like break into howling laughter. And it was one where it was two soy jacks trying to play Game Boy Advance connected across an ocean, and there was a little shark chewing on it and chewing on the wiring, and it just looks like a typical soy jack meme. And the whole thing is funny. Maybe we could post it or someone could look it up, but I liked it. So something that I did remember and I kind of suppressed, it's funny because my mind blanks it out. I don't know why. I thought before I clicked record, I'm going to say this. Then as I started talking, I forgot about it instantly. And I said, no, there was something I had to say. And eventually my unconscious fed it back into my conscience. And it is, if you are listening, like and subscribe. Okay?
Yep,
I usually say that at the end.
We finally remembered, yeah.
Maybe because there's a part of me that thinks it's genuflecting to ask that. But I do mean it. I do mean like and subscribe. What else are we on these days? Are we on Spotify?
We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was Google Plus. That was short-lived. So yeah, I noticed that you've gotten into some I'm not maybe some habits lately that aren't conducive to healthy thoughts. Tyson, you're into a certain streamer now, and I tried watching it along with you. I don't know, maybe that's just dedication as your friend and co-host. There was one morning I couldn't sleep well, and I watched it. Where was he? Cambodia or something?
He was in Indonesia, I believe.
So who is this streamer that you're into now? iShowSpeed,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I don't get where this all came from.
The man, the myth, the fucking legend, dude. I'm fully reverting back to just fully retarded Zoomer mode at this point in time.
Okay.
But yeah, I love watching iShowSpeed, dude, and sometimes I dabble in Kaizenat. You know.
You know what bothers me, and I'm trying not to sound like this person. I saw a really dumb tweet yesterday that made me angry, and maybe it's because I'm a fan of hers. Someone said, this is so dumb. This touches on so many different things that bothers me about slightly center-right online informed discourse now. There was someone that tweeted, it seems like Sabrina Carpenter's just been injected into the mainstream lately. And then all the responses are, yeah, I noticed that too. Must be part of the simulation. So the first part is they pretend to be these out of touch millennials that like think they're getting older, like, oh, I don't care about what this Sabrina Carpenter stuff is.
First of all, they don't notice anything. They're like the equivalent of they're spiritually linked to the people in the Philippines. They're just now getting to fucking Minions, dude. They don't consume any culture at all. So the fact that they even recognize Sabrina Carpenter means that she's probably like legitimate, you know?
That's true. They don't consume any culture at all, and they also want to be a resource for it and change it too. Like, no, all that stupid stuff, that's all slop. You don't pay attention to that. You pay attention to me, guy who admits himself has no idea what's going on. And that is most of the dissident right now. And sometimes you start to notice, like, wait, I'm pretty sure these are all just anonymous people online who don't want anyone else to have fun. And these people just find like their own avenues of traditionalism, and they're looking at pictures of the fall of Rome every day. I don't know, and it's just there's an entire world going on out there that you think you want to be informed on, but you're not, and you think you can give us advice on, but you're not qualified to. But the whole thing bothered me. It said, oh, she's just popular all of a sudden. So she was on Disney shows when she was younger. She had kind of a flailing music career after that. She went on tour with Taylor Swift as her opener. That was her chance to make a good impression. She did. And then she had the song in the summer, Espresso. And that's that. It's not that complicated, but for some reason, people now think, you know what it's a part of? It's a byproduct of the current thing. You know, the current thing is COVID-19. Now the current thing is Ukraine. It's almost as if the world exists and events happen in the world and they're reported on. It's not so great conspiracy. And then they also say, oh, it's part of the simulation. Of course, they'll admit the simulation before saying a God exists, okay, or anything is spiritual. They'll say, oh, who's driving the simulation? The simulation begets a creator. But no, they don't want to mention that either. It's just, then what is it? Then what are you talking about? Where are you leading us towards? It's so annoying. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, not only when it comes to popular figures, but you're talking about iShowSpeed, because I found myself wanting to say, where did he come from? I don't really get it, because I would just see YouTube clips of him barking and being annoying. He does do a bad. Oh, he's not like that. It's much more complex.
No, you're right. He did get famous for screaming and barking, but he came up through Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross would have him on sometimes, and he'd be like a really funny character. But then he just grew up from there. But just to piggyback on what you said, I'm not sure how to describe this, but there is a comfort in just turning your brain off and just hopping on like the latest trend, and you start to see like why they trend for a reason in the first place. Like with this fucking iShowSpeed live stream, like he's doing this fucking Southeast Asia tour right now, where each day he goes to a different country and like he streams in the Philippines and then like goes around and tries all the Filipino culture, all that stuff. And honestly, it's cool seeing some guy like bring so much joy and seeing people like have fun together. He's just walking down the street. You see like 20,000 people going like speed.
See, I see people who are brainwashed when I see that. But
him going to like all these different countries, it's like a daily tourism show where you get to explore all these different countries, and people are happy to show off their culture. You can sort of think of this as like,
that's a good point.
As like a Zoomer Anthony Bourdain travel show, except he would never get cuckolded by Asia Argento. He wouldn't do that to himself.
I love how they're going to do. First off, I think that's a good point about the cult, because I would have never known what the streets in that country looked like, and those kids did look excited in that video. I don't know why. The lionization and reverence we have for internet figures, and well, it used to kind of be. It all traces back when you talk about superstardom to. I wouldn't know what an example would be before the Beatles, but people were literally shooting airplanes with a gun because they were so excited to see the Beatles. They would shoot at their plane. They could not contain themselves. It's like people fainting over Michael Jackson. So when I say, I don't know why people are so excited to see people like iShowSpeed, this is something this is ingrained in us historically and culturally. There's precedent for it. So it's not even something I should get angry about. But I do think the concept of a fan and fandom is pathetic. The word comes from fanatic. Okay, you're obsessive. You have a problem with these streamers, or what you're a fan of. But I understand you can temper it, and they are kids. They're very impressionable, so it's not the worst ever. So
also another thing, I don't think people realize this, but another reason I like these streamers is they make the rappers seethe so fucking much. Did you realize that?
No, I didn't.
Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed, a lot of rappers fucking hate them with a passion because they are the new rappers. If you think back 10 years ago, someone like fucking 2 Chainz or like whatever rapper, they would have the eyeballs of the audience. Whenever they would go live on Instagram Live, they have 20,000 viewers, all this stuff. But now all the attention and all the energy has shifted to these fucking black streamers, and they can't stand it. They can't stand that iShowSpeed makes more than literally. He if you put his salary up, he is
like Lil Uzi Vert or someone, right?
He is literally up there with like the top 10 rappers of all time right now in terms of salary, and they can't stand it, dude. So I love that.
You know what's really funny is you annoyingly during a league game when I was casually bringing up the genre of rap said, I know more than rap about you. And then you did the just detestable name 3 rappers then. So a moment just came by about 20 seconds ago where you couldn't name any other rappers off the top of your head than 2 Chainz. So let's just put that up on the scoreboard for me.
If you want to know my inner thought function back then, I was trying to name people that weren't Drake or Kendrick because they do earn more than Speed. I'm trying to think of a mid-tier rapper like fucking, 2 Chainz or Lil Uzi,
Yeah, that's fair enough. So one thing I will mention in relation to that is, and I've said this about rock music too, which is true, but it's even truer for rap music because rap music is young and it's less well, whatever. I won't delve into to proclivities of music or anything like that, or how to read it or its complexities, because I don't know anything about that, nor do I care. But rap is winding down. Okay. Yep. Rap has already found its creative peaks. I think it'll live on in a lot of ways through R&B, because I think R&B is a lot more digestible, holistic, listenable form of music than rap is. It's just nicer to put on. It's more relaxing. It brings more joy. Rap itself, I mean, it really found itself a cultural identity immediately, and it's attached to that. And there's not much creativity that you can go in from there. So you have like some reinventions where you have like trap music or anything like that, and then it just kind of, you have SoundCloud rap. You had like the peaks of like Lil Peep and what's the guy who died? Well, I have to be more specific than that. The short guy who died. His
Juice
rapping
WRLD.
is really. No, I don't care. I love how we had to pretend to care about that for the 2 seconds, even though he had that song. No, his rapping's really harsh. It's bothering me. I say extension.
yeah. Extension.
Wait, how do you say that for real?
Tentacion.
He's sick, by the way. He was awesome. Yeah. When I heard that, I said, that is something new. I don't hear anything like that anymore. It's harsh. It's guttural. It's hard to listen to in a good way. I love that. But again, that's just little spurts of reinvention that rap's having. It's on its way down. And this is something that I try and touch on from time to time. And it's the same with the NBA too. And it's a lot of what I listen to with Counter-Strike too. So I think it's something that's kind of carrying itself around different interests. Is people don't like the music or the sport as much as the drama that surrounds it. Okay? So when you talk about Drake and Kendrick beefs, it's not the stupid songs that they're putting out, except people meat ride that dumb fucking Kendrick song. Dude, I saw one guy singing on the street like, certified pedophile. I'm like, you're a fucking loser. Like, hop off his dick, dude. Like, it's literally the morning time and you're dick riding Kendrick on the street. But people like the drama that surrounds that now. It's the same thing with the NBA. Like, where's Devin Butler going or whoever? I don't know much about the NBA, but they follow players. They don't follow teams. It's the same thing in rap now too. It's like they follow these rappers and what they're doing and who they're dissing, and it's not as much about the music anymore.
Well,
so streamers can hone in on that.
If you're upset at the current state of rap, you should be really happy and supportive of my man Speed. Also, I want to bring up this one moment I remember watching on Aiden Ross's stream. This rapper, this fucking complete fucking loser called Trippie Redd, he went on Aiden Ross's stream, right? And then I guess he thought he wanted to ball out, so he whipped out like a band of money. I think it was like 15 grand, and then he threw it up in there. He's like, "Yo, fuck with me, cause when I come on stream, we ball out." And then tried to act like arrogant to Aiden Ross, and it's like, dude, do you know Aiden Ross makes 15 grand every fucking hour he sleeps? Like, don't come in on his fucking stream and throw 15 grand like you're fucking tough shit. Like, you're nothing, okay? And I can't wait for these guys to just die, I'm
not sure if it's really pathetic adulation for these streamers that you have, or you hate the direction that rap is going. Okay, both. For instance, both, right? Why not both? I saw a video where someone was talking about the comparison. I think I have brain rot with the Drake and Lamar feud because it makes me so angry that Kendrick Lamar ended up. I wouldn't say he came out on top because Drake is the better performer or entertainer. Kendrick just makes the same song over and over, like, oh, I'm a good technical rapper that white people feel like they're engaging with black culture in by listening to. It's just so boring. But
Dude, I love that, by
listening.
the way. Some people on Twitter these days are saying like, yeah, people don't really play Kendrick's music on the streets, like in the hood. And then
Or the club, or the
oh, yeah, yeah,
club.
or in the club, and then all these replies are like, I'm hearing it every day. And so all these fucking like white suburban people, like,
Yeah. Come on. What is more impactful? You know, Kendrick going like, oh, like, oh wow, that's crazy. Or Drake, it's like, just hold on, we're going home, going. Like, come on, everyone knows that. That's all encompassing. Okay, that's bigger than rap, right? You know what I mean? And that's just one random song that he has. That's from like after I even was listening to him, from the Best I Ever Had days. So it just that part of it, Bob, I can't get my mind off of that. I don't know why.
What, the Kendrick?
The whole thing just really bothered me how it ended up. But what I was going to say was someone was listening to one of his songs, one of Drake's new songs, and it had this like Jamaican flair to it. It was a little different. And he's like, see, this is what people like. This is what people like listen to. This is like, your girl likes this song. I like this song. And he just put it on in the car. I'm like, yeah, that's better than or whatever that it's like stupid shit is that people meat ride to. It's ridiculous, but it's the same. But okay, I'll pull it all back into context here, right? That's the same thing with your streamers, right? I wouldn't say they're relatable, but these are just people that are kind of talking, and I'm not going to say you have a parasocial relationship with them or anything, but it's just easy to watch, easy to get into. They're entertaining you. You know, there's not much for kids to watch cartoon-wise nowadays. Yep. They've all become cynical Adventure Time deconstructionist Rick and Morty garbage, so they don't have cartoons
to
watch.
The kids don't even watch that. The
Like
kids watch it's pretty funny. I saw like this TikTok of this kid wishing for a Gucci jacket for his 11th birthday, and I'm like, damn, kids really are fucking wishing for weird things. Because at 11, I would have never wished for a fucking jacket, no matter what brand it was, dude. Like, can you imagine?
When I was 11, I wanted Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
Yeah, like some 11-year-old wants to fucking flex on the people at school in the lunch table with the Gucci jacket.
That sounds like a systemic cultural issue. Some would say a demographic one too, but that is so funny. A little
Gucci
kid
either.
Yeah, Mom, I want my Gucci jacket.
Just to top it off, you know, Drake, he's comfy with these streamers. He's friends because they're not playing the same game. Because he's not
insecure. Yeah, he's not insecure, right?
Drake even texts Kai Cenat sometimes. He's like, "Yo, what's up? What's that? I like the game that you play." I can't believe I'm saying this, dude. Jesus Christ!
I know this is. I appreciate that you're laying it all out there, but man, these, as they say on Twitter, you couldn't waterboard this information out of me. But I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Hey, I got into watching Twitch for a while, but you know, the one problem that I have is the platform is terrible. And I'm just getting off my chest. We're just speaking freely because it's just that kind of episode. But the actual optimization of Twitch is awful. Like, you can barely use mobile. The way ads are set up on it are completely obnoxious. The only thing that's good on Twitch is its algorithm. It's really good at finding you streamers that are like the streamers that you already enjoy. And that's it. The communities in there are god-awful. Not like I would care about being a part of one, but you're still exposed to them. YouTube is a far better streaming platform. I'm so angry. There's no way to find profitability in esports. That's why they always have to cater to venture capital funding or Saudi investment or China. It's a new boogeyman every year that just gives funding to keep it going because the teams are too expensive to have. And there was one league where, hey, we can make a partner deal with YouTube to kind of stay alive and, you know, get our own funding. And people are like, no, we're not going to watch the Counter-Strike games if they go on YouTube because we won't be able to use our Twitch emotes. So those are the kind of people that are on Twitch. Yeah, exactly. And then
people really
eventually
care about that much. That's fucking weird.
And then eventually that league got bought out by Saudi Arabia, and that's it. So now they're not independent anymore. They're a vassal of the Saudi Arabian state. So it's just, it kind of bothers me. And
you know what? I'm actually for that. These people actually deserve it. You know, if you're too fucking chicken shit to put up $5 and too chicken shit to like get off your Twitch emotes for 5 seconds for one championship final, you deserve to have whatever you love bought out by Saudi Arabia. You deserve it, dude.
Well, you want to talk about something that circles everything and puts a period on what we're talking about. It's that people on the internet have become extremely entitled when it comes to entertainment. They think they should have everything for free. They're so used to just having free entertainment brought to their doorstep that whatever they do like, they won't meet it halfway. They think they deserve more. And it's crystallized in esports perfectly, where people won't even part with, they'll watch Counter-Strike their whole life and won't even part with $5 for a pay-per-view tournament. And that's why this has to happen. So yeah, you might as well see everything you love get destroyed, because you won't put the effort needed.
You know why this happens though, right?
Yeah.
Because in Silicon Valley, ever since the 2000s, or the rise of social media companies like Facebook, the prevalence of this new business model where they provide value first and take a loss financially in the hopes that eventually people will start spending money, became like the main popular way to provide stuff. So for example, like Facebook, they do all this stuff advertising free, and then eventually scale into advertising. A new company, for example, Amazon or any new media company, they try to provide value first, and then once it's large enough, then they start and capitalize. But I think that's going away because they realize people are really fucking cheap, and they get used to the free shit being provided to them. So yeah, that's gonna stop. People got really comfy with like, oh, this company's just giving me free shit. I wonder how they're paying for it.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, they used.
Yeah.
Well, they used to justify that the prospectus of subscriptions by showing how many eyes or users were on their app. So that was their obsession. They would entice investors by saying this will become profitable for subscriptions or marketing because we have millions of people watching this League of Legends final or this Counter-Strike final. And you start to realize it doesn't matter how many viewers you have. Most of them aren't going to do what they need to keep your product alive by paying for it because they're selfish. And half the people on the internet don't support their own content creators that they love because they have ad blockers up and they think they deserve to use an ad blocker. I proudly don't use an ad blocker, and I'll shout it from the rooftops. I pay for my YouTube because when I go somewhere, I want them to get marketing dollars.
This got me thinking, life really was better when everyone had a cable TV subscription. Because they're paying like what, $30-$40 a month for that cable TV back in the 90s and early 2000s. That $40 a month from every family went on to like fund how many fucking channels that people could watch and get content from. People really need to go back to paying $40 a month for like one cool thing, I feel like.
Well, it was almost a sport with clear boundaries. So when you're on television, there's licensing agreements, there's channels with licensing agreements. Here are your ads. Here's the revenue these companies get from these ads. And it was all in a controlled environment. Now we're in some sort of extreme Wild West where you have companies that can run at a loss. You have 7 different streaming platforms.
That's
you
true.
have YouTube with all this free accents. But then it was, here's your channel. Here's your advertiser on the channel. Hello, I am advertiser. I would like to show my 1488 My Pillow ad. It's something like that. So, did you see that with Mike Lindell? Yeah, I saw it yesterday. I was just like, come on now. But yeah, I think we're really just kind of skating around the erosion of maybe attention span or how to capitalize on the attention economy, and people are starting to realize that you can't. And the only people that kind of can are these streamers. They know how to extrapolate money from. So it used to be V-Bucks and Minecraft. Now it's these guys.
I'm sort of coming around to the idea that maybe monopolies are actually a good thing, because the argument I just made just now for the TV stuff.
Of course you do.
That was only true that was only possible because TVs held a monopoly back then. But now you have like you said before, 7 different fucking streaming services. 7 different streaming services all charging $15 a month. It's like, I don't want to pay that. And the only reason Twitch is successful is because they essentially have a monopoly. Them and YouTube,
They do well. Twitch does have a monopoly on streaming, but Twitch isn't profitable. Twitch is a leper on the side of Amazon. So even then, it's not making enough money, but it has a lot of cultural influence. I just like that you said TV had a monopoly, like Mr. House on Fallout or something, like Mr. TV. Like TV Inc. Glad I have this monopoly right now. I'm monopolying so hard. But well, people are begging for that time now because now your streaming platforms have ads too. You know what? There's nothing simpler. Back in my day, you sit down on the couch, you press the power button, and you press the guide on your Comcast digital cable, and you see what's on TV. You scroll around, maybe press info, and you discover new things. You find new channels, new interests, maybe watch a movie that you typically wouldn't. Now we have an information overload. We don't even know how to channel it as consumers anymore, and we certainly aren't paying for it. I don't know if it's an embarrassment of riches or what, but whatever is going on inside of us, our localized unconscious, or maybe just culturally, streamers are tapping into it. They are certainly tapping into it.
Oh, so this is really off tangent, but what you said just reminded me of this thing I discovered for the first time. So when I was a kid, I used to watch lots of TV, and I would hate the commercials so fucking much.
Yeah.
Then I went to my buddy's house one time, and I was watching TV at his place for the first time, and I noticed for the first time when the TV show is playing, it's normal and stuff, but then when the ads come on, he mutes the TV, and I'm like, wait, I don't have to listen to commercials. I can mute as well. So that was like
your friend's the scum of the earth. So
that was a game changer. So I just started muting commercials. Like, fuck you, I'm not going to listen to it.
See, that's ridiculous. I had a friend who would pause when they finally had TV.
How am I a piece of shit for not listening to fucking furniture commercial?
It's a commercial that's playing anyways.
And if I mute it, so what's the difference?
What you're enjoying on your television, and by transitive property to our contemporary times, what you're enjoying on your Twitch stream or on your YouTube stream is only possible, like they say, made possible by viewers like you. Let's just say with these commercials, it's only made possible by ad revenue. You're taking away that ad revenue. Okay, you're supposed to. You have to, in some ways, have a contentious, respectful relationship with ads.
Listen,
because what you enjoy can't exist without them.
No, if I watch a YouTube video and this guy wants to say this video was sponsored by NordVPN, fine, that's fine. But fuck you, I'm not going to watch a furniture commercial while I'm watching Cartoon Network. I'm not doing that shit. I'm going to mute that every single time, and I'm right in doing so. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, good. Then you don't deserve good entertainment because you can't get on board with advertisers. So sorry, but no, that's good for you. I'm happy that you've gotten to that point. But no, I'll just put it this way. I'm thinking of all the people, because you've really embarrassed yourself by talking about how much you like iShowSpeed. I think he's completely obnoxious.
There's nothing embarrassing. He's a wholesome like a person. You know, he's like a.
I don't think so. I think deep down he's you see him the same way a 12-year-old does. It's really sad. You don't think he's a pragmatic opportunist entertainer? No, none of that. You think he's just
he takes life by the balls and he just goes for it. You know, I like that about him.
It's embarrassing how impressionable the average third worlder is, but I guess that's what I have to live with. So
yes, the third world New Zealander.
yeah. Well, we won't go further into that. But what I will say is, we were talking about, I think when I was mentioning Sabrina Carpenter earlier in this, it got me thinking about first off, we won't get into it, but I did see Deadpool twice, and people aren't even talking about it anymore because Marvel is. I think the world has collectively moved on from Marvel after how much bad will has been dispersed by the studio over the last.
Thinking back to Deadpool, they really did fumble the second half of the film. I feel like,
honestly, and maybe this is me embarrassing myself to reciprocate how much you embarrassed yourself with this iShowSpeed obsession, but I liked it more the second time, and I felt like the plot made even more sense the second time, which is pathetic because it is a stupid movie. But movies should be stupid. They're not an auteur's dream. You know, there's no cinematic need to think on a deeper level.
Well, except for Nolan films, right?
Yes, as I say, filmmaking started with Larry, Moe, and Curly poking each other in the eyes, and Charlie Chaplin on a giant bicycle, and that's what they'll always be. So the equivalent of that in the modern day is, Hugh Jackman jumping out of the back of a bus and standing there as a 3D model while Deadpool does whatever. But what I will say was, one of the previews, I thought I was being pranked. I don't know why. I saw some normal previews. Oh, there's a new Venom movie coming out. That's cool. I like Carnage, the symbiote, etc. I'll probably see that. And then I don't know where this came from. And maybe I sound like that guy on Twitter who said, when did they input him into the cultural programming? I saw a preview for a LEGO Pharrell movie.
Oh, it's a biopic, but it's done in a Lego format, right?
So my question is, and I've been trying to figure this out, because to me, he was birthed on The Voice. He just sprouted out of the chair on The Voice. I have no idea what he did before that besides I'm happy because I'm happy.
He's a producer. He's a big-time producer.
Oh, he's a big-time producer. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So maybe I wasn't just in the same areas that he was in when I was listening to music, but I'm sorry. Why Pharrell and why Lego? That's what I don't get.
You know what? I kind of respect that he had the gumption to go for a Lego biopic, but at the same time, I kind of hate that it's fucking Pharrell. It's like, really, you couldn't do this with anyone else? But I don't care about fucking Pharrell, though.
What did he wear, the Smokey the Bear hat or something? But what is deeply inspiring about Pharrell? Was he on his last dollar when he produced a hit? I have no idea, and I don't care. And I think I would already know his story if he did have one, because he would be important enough for that. But what about it needs to be put into a Lego movie? So that's something that tells me this just must be an industry idea. I don't understand what else it could be. It must be, hey, well, people generally like Pharrell because he was on The Voice and he's a safe kind of broad appeal producer, and we're gonna make a Lego. You can make a Lego.
I guarantee it's some dumb fucking movie executive said, wait a minute, Happy got like 2 billion views. Why don't we make a movie about the guy that made Happy?
Like the song Happy?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he did something with Inside Out. I don't know. Like that song Happy that came out, I remember seeing a video of Maria Sharapova dancing to it. She's my favorite tennis player of all time. And I thought, this is so embarrassing. This song is so stupid.
Yeah.
And he looks stupid dancing to it. So
you know what? Like one of those it's like a literal oxymoron, because the song's named Happy and I actively get unhappy whenever I hear it. So
But what if there's a part in the did Pharrell grow up on the I assume he grew up in Chicago or some stupid town like that I have to pretend exists, and you're gonna show the mean streets of Chicago as Legos? Like, imagine just hood rat Legos, like, hey, give me all your money. He shoots him, and red jewels come out of the back of him. I don't
Dude,
know.
what if they recreate the fucking Jussie Smollett thing, but in Legos?
It's like,
a fucking Lego
this
noose
is brick country.
Lego like fucking Subway sandwich that he's holding.
Yeah, exactly. But what would be? This is Fort Lego Rado country, buddy.
This is Bionicle country, bitch.
yeah, exactly. So how ridiculous was that when he comes, the recording of him going back to his apartment with the noose still around his neck, tied like it came off like a high school play set. It's just so pathetic. That was such an interesting time we lived in. And you know what? I give him credit because he created a lot of qualifiers that let me spot when a story isn't true off the bat. And the number one is, and I hate it because I'm not trying to give out an aphorism and I'm not trying to be pithy about anything, but I do hate when it says, like, if it's too good to be true, it probably isn't. But the second you start hearing stories get more descriptive and they happen to line up with some sort of ideology or, some sort of current activist bent, then that's when you kind of know, like, this probably, and then once you add more and more to it, Chicago at 3 a.m., he was going to Subway. It was 20 degrees. It's like, I think we have some problems here. But we used to be a lot more impressionable with stories like that. That's why it made it as far as it did. Now, maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, remember the fucking story of the balloon kid? The kid that was stuck in the balloon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like people just believe that. That was really fucking funny to me to watch. Like, wait, you guys actually believe this kid was stuck in a balloon across the country? What the fuck?
Well, you know what really bothers me? There's this story, and it makes me think, you know what? Maybe it gives a lot of insight into why boomers are just as contemptuous as I try and make everyone believe they are, which they are. They're the worst people on the entire planet. I even let one in onto a highway the other day, and he didn't even wave. He didn't do anything. He got in front of me and went slow. So I went around him and laid on my horn and fake swerved into his car because he didn't wave when I let him in, because I can't stand boomers. But back when, and they love to reference this, I don't know why, if it has to do hysteria around UFOs. Shout out to our dead co-host. I'm talking about UFOs and aliens here. During the 1950s, I think it was, or 40s or 50s, there was a reading of, what is it, George Orwell's War of the Worlds? Is it Orson Welles?
Oh,
I think it's George Orwell.
Yeah.
So,
they did this like radio play, and apparently the boomers were so freaked out by this fucking play on the radio that they thought it was real, and they're like, wait, Chicago's being attacked by 30-foot tall aliens? What the fuck?
So these are the people that are your parents or your parents' parents, right? These are the people that are able to own property and drive cars and parent kids, okay? So these are the same people that are sharing Facebook boomer memes that are AI generated, going, oh, this is so wonderful that this happened, and it's a kid being rescued by like a fish with 3 legs or something. And so they're so impressionable. I said, you know what? I'm not going to lie. If I were alive at that time, I don't think I would have fallen for that. Those people are fucking retarded. They're fucking idiots. Are you kidding me?
Dude, you know that meme where like it's like this tree and it says you must be over 25 and own a computer to play this game. A boomer, if they had access to the internet back then, and if he was like 24, he'd be like, God dang it, I'm nearly 25.
I can't play this darn game. So yeah, well, I just say. There hasn't been a change, okay, in the alacrity, the mental capabilities of the boomer or the old person. They were dumb enough to go, oh, well, they got drafted, so there's no choice. These are the same people that stood in U-boats and just let a machine gun shoot them, okay? They didn't do anything. They're too stupid to know what's going on. So they're tricked by some guy going, and stop, a 30-foot alien just landed. Stop. Oh, my goodness. The inhumanity. And for some reason, their first impulse is to run outside and run down the street and go, what are you talking about? So stupid. So those are the people that we have to deal with. The leftovers of that are the people. That's the golden generation, apparently. They can't even differentiate between fiction and real life. So what do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do about that, right? I guess that's my fault, right? I don't know. So I don't know how I got on that. You're supposed to take
the edge off by watching a couple live streamers. That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. No, I used to get into a lot of Kaizo Mario streams back in the day. That was my thing. But then, of course, they kind of receded into pronoun alphabets, and it just wasn't.
I was gonna say transgenderism.
I mean, pretty much. They even chased one guy out of there who was his sin was being normal. So, actually, did you see the original Lego movie?
No, and I refuse to. I hate the art style, and I will never watch something like that.
I hate to say it because I played with Legos a lot growing up. I thought it was, you know what? I thought it was good enough, but it's for kids. It's for children.
I don't understand I don't understand the point of like buying a Lego set where you're supposed to make something. I thought like the point of Legos is that you get a whole fucking box of random like Lego shit and you make whatever you want, right? Like
it's both. It's both.
Why would you want to make something that's on the box? It seems fucking lame.
Yeah, you usually have a bunch of disparate bricks, or what you make you eventually take apart. But I think when you're the problem is when you're an adult, you get the $300 sets and you build it and be like,
dude, that is crazy. I think
it's pathetic.
Dude,
I think it's pathetic.
The Lego Millennium Falcon goes for like $1,300, dude. That's crazy, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, and people get excited and make them. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just if you're into crafting as a hobbyist, where you're gluing. And there's some sort of, I don't want to say carpentry feel to it, or it requires some expertise. That's cool. But you're a fully grown adult. And listen, I have some sadly childish hobbies, as anyone should, just to hold on to their inner kid. But you're a fully grown adult and you take out your little instruction manual. You're just wanting a distraction at that point. You're not really improving on yourself with a hobby. You're not really learning anything. You're not really expanding your mindset. You're just saying, I'm just gonna sit down, listen to music, and put these little Lego bricks together. It's like so stupid. I think it's pathetic, but whatever. So we'll let look, Pharrell Lego movie. And you know what? No. Before I move on from that, people love to say, and I was about to say it, that's why I'm catching myself. They always say, the movie's just a tax write-off. Do they know what they mean when they say that? Because I don't think I know what that means. They say, so when a movie loses tons of money, they can use it as a tax loss and pay less in taxes. I guess that's better than it netting $12,000.
The premise is that if they use quote unquote creative accounting, they can make it seem like a fat fucking loss for the thing, so that they can use it as a claim for tax write-offs in the future. You know, like if a film did, this is just going off like the top of my head, but I assume that if a film did like kind of bad, they would actually increase the accounting to make it look like it did really bad, so they can claim more tax in the future.
But it really does translate to, because I know you can do that with stocks. I
assume so, yeah, because it's an investment still.
Yeah, and then there's also, they always say, like, oh, it's money laundering too. You can't. I'm like, how's it money laundering? I don't get that. I think people just get to say stuff like that and not really expand on it. So whatever. Maybe they know more than me. I have no idea. But just the creature comforts of life. We got the iShowSpeed streaming and the Lego Pharrell. I don't know what we're talking about, but I heard recently that you. So we're just talking about the modern world that we live in. You went to a Costco recently because they had one around where you are now. They're a mainstay. They're Americana at this point, as much as Buc-ee's or McDonald's. But you went to one. You went to a Costco. Dude, what'd you think?
New Zealand opened its first Costco 2 years ago, and I've been putting it off for 2 years. And I finally went a few weeks ago. And I gotta say, I have no idea how the fuck Walmart still exists when Costco exists, dude. How? It's they have literally everything there. And okay, so I assumed it was going to be like a large fucking warehouse full of food shit, you know, like a discount grocer, that kind of stuff. But it's not. Dude, you can buy MacBooks, you can buy tent, like camping equipment, you can buy fucking anything you want, and for like a pretty good price as well. Dude, and there's like a deli, there's like a butcher, and every 4 feet there's like a free food stall where they give you like free samples and shit. How is this not like the best? How do people still go to this thing and then are comfortable going to Walmart after that? That's it blows my fucking mind.
There's some, I think Walmart, I don't know if they're, well, the big part about Costco is that a lot is in bulk. So if you're not shopping in bulk, maybe Costco's not the place, and obviously Walmart doesn't require a subscription. But the thing I do like about Costco, the few times I've been there, is that it's very experiential. It's focused on keeping you in there and walking around and thinking, well, maybe I do need this. Maybe I do need that. And it really like helps kind of introduce you to other brands that you typically normally wouldn't. But also, their frozen foods are fresh. Their steak, their salmon, stuff like that. So I think when you're comparing that to Walmart, put it this way. I don't know why people will go food shopping somewhere like Whole Foods when they could have Costco at their disposal. Because when you're talking about meats, cheeses, charcuterie, hors d'oeuvres, anything like that, Costco blows everyone out of the water, and it probably has more.
Talk about like fucking laziness. Costco is the best place to be fucking lazy, honestly. I went to the deli section.
You would know.
Yeah, I would. I went to the deli section, and they have like these chicken and like lettuce wraps where you can buy them in packs of 24, and they're frozen so that they last fucking forever. And I looked at the nutrition information, and they're pretty healthy. It's literally just chicken, mayo, lettuce, and bacon wrapped around in like a tortilla. And it's like, dude, if I wanted to be like on my macros and my fucking diet stuff, why not just buy one of these and I'll be sorted for like fucking 2 weeks straight? That it's so easy.
Yeah, Absolutely. I did like that, and I had their hot dog before, that they were toying.
The hot dog was so good, by the way. I loved it.
Well, I don't know if it was their CEO, and I'm completely paraphrasing the article. Who knows if it's even real, but someone said something along the lines of, what if we change the price of the hot dog? And so, like, the CEO said, if you do that, I'll kill you. So that's been a fixed price for, I don't know if it's $1 hot dog or $1.50. He said, if you change the price of the hot dog according to inflation, I'll kill you. So you have some passionate executives there at Costco, which is good. And also, people who have been working there for 20 years are millionaires thanks to their stock. So yeah, if you're driving a forklift in the back there your whole life, you definitely made out like a bandit. So that just goes to show people don't see it, but there are times where when corporations that you're in grow, you grow too fruitfully. But sometimes it's a risk. At Costco, it's one that paid off. So you go, boom! It's a double chunk chocolate cookie kit. People get so mad about that. And I said, that dad is driven. He's grinding. He's motivated. He's industrious. I think he's
depriving his kids of a childhood, though. That's not too good.
What childhood are they possibly going to have? He's a fat, ugly Jewish kid from outside New York. They're not even Italian. They're 100% Jewish. They don't live in North Jersey like they're trying to say they do. They're probably New Yorkers, which the incestuous relationship between those two areas in the United States, it's just a collection of the worst people you'll ever meet in your life. Like North Jersey is just, everything they say about it is true. It's a horrible place with horribly obnoxious people.
I heard people in Jersey have like a Freon addiction. Is that true? You know what Freon is? It's like the liquid that comes in the back of that's used to cool refrigerators. Like people will just suck out those and get high off that. Is that true?
I don't think so. Wait, by the way, I don't, because you bring up whippets from time to time. Do you see what's this, a galaxy gas?
Dude, oh my god. I can't wait to try that shit, dude, when it comes to New Zealand.
Of course you
It looks so fucking sick.
Dude, people are like choking out the oxygen to their brains with it and passing
For those of you who don't know.
Of course the iShowSpeed fan wants to suck in
no.
There's no oxygen left going to your brain
for those of you who don't know, whippets are a central part of New Zealand culture, so I will be engaging in galaxy gas when it comes to my country, okay?
My culture is not your costume.
And honestly, when we meet up in the location that we're supposed to in October next year, I'm going to bring some whippets for you, and you can see what the fuss is about, okay?
I'm not going to dry up my brain to a prune doing galaxy gas with you in a foreign country, and then passing out onto the asphalt and hitting my head. And
that's why you sit down before you hit the whippet, dude.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, why don't you bring a laminated instruction manual for me, and then maybe I'll give it a shot. So I know I've seen a few videos, and then I saw there was one announcement for a LAN tournament that said, just a public announcement, please don't bring galaxy gas to the venue. So apparently there's a problem of people just bringing it anywhere and passing out. So I don't know what it does. What does it feel like? Is it like a whippet? Or it is a whippet.
It literally is a whippet, except galaxy gas is flavored, so you get like blueberry flavor or fucking apple flavor.
Blueberry flavored brain damage.
but what it feels like is, so what you're supposed to do is release the gas into a balloon. So, but they're not doing that. They're doing it straight from the can, which is really bad for your throat because it's cold, and you want to release it in the balloon so it warms up first. But once you have it in the balloon,
but you don't want to talk about that.
You're supposed to inhale it for 30 seconds straight, okay? And then the rush you get, it feels fucking awesome, dude. And the rush, it feels like you're like. It's gonna sound so fucking gay and like Joe Rogan coded, but like feels like you're ascending to a different dimension.
This is how New Zealanders talk and think. This is their idea of ascension.
And the cool thing is that it lasts for only 30 seconds. So once it's done, once you're back to normal, you can load up another one and be good to go.
You know, it's so funny. You think about famous authors or artists trying to find their creative edge through the use of drugs and like mysticism. And, you know, they get addicted to acid, or maybe they do cocaine, or they have a drinking problem. It's just like your creative process is fostered. It's taking whippets. Just imagine it's just like a famous postmodern artist where it's like, yeah, his whippet addiction. He's always high on whippets. So yeah, that kind of reminds me of salvia, except more dangerous. Salvia, which was briefly
no, salvia is more dangerous than that.
I don't think so.
Trust me,
it's a synthetic. Why should I trust you?
Because I've done salvia. Yeah, so I'm the only one of us that can say that he's done both of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All I did was hallucinate and see a shy guys from Mario floating around, and felt like the room I was in was in
when
space.
I took salvia, it made me teleport forward in time and made me extremely, extremely angry at everyone around me for like 15 minutes.
Really? I just
like
imagine
insanely angry, dude.
I just imagine you sitting in the couch, like boiling over.
Dude, we were at a internet cafe playing like some games. So we went out to smoke some salvia, and then I teleported back into my seat. So we must have walked back inside, and my friend was like laughing at some dumb shit, and I remember just like stewing my chair, like, what the fuck is he fucking laughing about? I hate his laugh. I hate everything about him, dude. I was just seething in my chair for like 10 minutes straight, dude.
You're just sitting there angry. That's too funny. Temperature rising. So I forget why we were talking about. Oh, well, because we were talking about galaxy gas, and I don't know how we fell onto that. So, but yeah, all right. Well, I don't think I'll give it a shot. But
speaking of galaxy gas, there's something I want to talk about. Okay, and I think it's time we have an adult discussion about this. You know, I think it's time we put our big boy hats and then have a talk that's free from memes and try and be intellectual about it. Okay, I think it's time we finally talk about space and interplanetary stuff. So, if you didn't know, recently Elon has said that
you're not off to a good start.
Yeah, I know, but deal with me for a second. Elon has said that in 2 years' time, he will be launching the first unmanned mission to Mars as a test run. And, you know, if these are successful, in 4 years' time after that, they will begin launching manned missions, with the number of ships increasing in number exponentially every 4 years, which is the Mars launch window. So theoretically, if everything goes to plan, it should be 2 years from now, they launch 1 to 2 test run vessels. 4 years after that, they launch 2 manned vessels. 4 years after that, 4 vessels, then 8 vessels, then 16 and 32, etc., etc. And hypothetically, that would be how they would build a colony on Mars. You know? And, you know, I don't know if this will work out the way Elon plans it, judging by how, you know, the fucking Cybertruck and Tesla Roadster have been delayed.
Cybertruck.
Yeah, a few extra years probably should be tacked onto the time horizon to temper expectations. But honestly, dude, I think the mere announcement of this signifies something important. I think it signifies that, you know, at least somewhat, the human race is approaching the stage at which we can attempt to be an interplanetary species. And honestly, I think that's pretty cool. What do you think about that?
That's good for you. I don't care about voyaging and exploring other places in space. I don't think that's important I think that's kind of like a nihilist worldview. It's like, what are we doing on here? We're just a rock in space. We should be exploring and like finding the limits of man. I don't know.
You don't have to do that.
Spiritually, it doesn't appeal to me. But no, trust me, I'll come back around. Okay.
Okay.
One of my questions. Okay, first off, the likelihood of this happening because Elon Musk is doing it is low, but it's not like our I don't want to say DEI. It sounds like a center right YouTuber. Be like, oh, the diversity division. But NASA's, let's just say, not as aspirational as they were, and I don't expect them to do anything. And who knows if they even went to the moon in the first place. But we'll let that one go for now. So my question is, how long does it take to get to Mars with a person?
6 months.
That's it. You just have to float around for 6 months.
Well, yeah, it has to be a 6 month journey every 4 years, because every 4 years, that's when the Earth is closest to Mars. You can't launch when Earth and Mars are at the opposite ends of the solar system, and it's too long that way.
And we're spinning the whole time, and they're spinning the whole time too, supposedly at 1,000 miles an hour. Yet we can land on each other's planets. I don't know.
Yeah, surprising how the Kaisnet viewer can comprehend that, but you can't. It's fine.
It's fair. This is your expertise, so I'm willing to be okay with that. But you know, it would be nice to see, and I've grown up hearing every 5 or 6 years on intervals that there is some sort of Mars operation, and we did touch down there within the last 10 years. So I'll put it this way, and it's a little optimistic. I think the moon landing in the 60s was something that kind of binded everyone together for a moment. It just had that broad scale, the exploration, the implications of it. And I think it was coupled with the Cold War and the race with Russia, too, that we magically won for some reason, which makes me skeptical of it. So I'm not sure what will be maybe we'll have our own culture war going on at the time when we're going to Mars, and it'll more revolve around censorship and Elon Musk, and it'll be about that and less about, a geopolitics. Okay, so there could be some interesting context to it, but I think everyone will be surprised if we do land a person on Mars. It will be monumental. It will be world changing, and people will pay attention to it. And there'll be a little bit of nostalgia too, and it might kind of bind everyone together again just for a little bit. And there's few things that can, but when you say, hey, the whole world's going to stop for a second and we're going to land on Mars, that'll happen. People will stop working during the day. People will be tuning in for that. And it'll feel like when people used to turn on their TVs back in the 60s or 70s, they'd be like, oh, one small step, you know what I mean? Except it'll be real this time. But
you know what it would represent? It would kind of signify that history actually does happen,
Yeah, and man's not done yet,
Yeah,
man
it sort of feels
as a
like
species isn't done.
Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it really feels like since with the exception of phone technology or the internet, nothing's really happened since the 90s, and to see someone land on Mars, I think that would put the cap on that, and I think that would be really cool.
That's true. History only really happens through wars. Those are the signifiers and maybe inventions. I'm probably forgetting about other things now, or maybe deaths too, but that kind of begets wars. So you think about, we don't really have wars anymore. We're not going to. They're all proxy wars. There's no value in putting men on the ground and fighting them. So those are all proxies. Those don't happen often. Famous deaths, they come and go. We've already invented most of what we can comprehend, and whatever comes next probably won't be that spectacular. Oh, it's a hologram. Oh, it's a smaller hologram, and whatever. That's probably where technology is going now. But something like that, something on the scale of landing on Mars, that's probably one of our last few chances to make history, because we haven't done it before. And I don't think NASA has the resources to it. So it'll be a huge conversation about privatization and space travel and kind of our future. And there'll be someone who I think is really obnoxious and detestable at the helm of it. But I will say,
if you gave me the choice between Elon doing it and NASA doing it, unfortunately, I will have to go with Elon. I think
that's a really good point. I think I agree with myself, and it's awful because you could tell it's kind of like Trump in a way. I don't know if it's a symptom of being a billionaire or just being detached in general or getting older. Elon Musk just has the most vapid sense of humor and personality. He's just so impressionable by the worst parts of the center right, and it's so boring because he's just an egalitarian libertarian who is afraid to have any views whatsoever that can be considered extremist. It's just kind of lame, but he's enough on the side for me to be like, okay, well, that's fine. I'm glad he's not saying stuff in the opposite direction. It's more annoying, but he doesn't think critically about cultural issues. He's more kind of led by his nose by them. But to have him do something like that would be awesome. And I will say Twitter has been a more fun place in the last few years since he's bought it.
You can say nearly anything you want these days.
You can. There's a few things that I've gotten banned for and had to do a little delete. But for the most part, I mean, I'm starting to come to terms with the stranglehold that they truly had over information during COVID and the BLM riots. You couldn't say anything vaguely right wing online without getting banned. It was pretty bad. And benign right-wing personalities were getting banned left and right too. We're not talking about the crazy, I don't want to say the crazy ones, but we're not talking about the ones that have extremist right-wing views. We're talking about people that are just normal center right. We're just getting banned immediately. And they
Dude,
felt
fucking Steven Crowder was getting flagged for copyright infringement and all this stuff.
Yeah, just
if
the most
he was getting
sterile
flagged,
right-wing
yeah.
comedian. Yeah. Yeah, if he was, then anyone could have gone next. So I do appreciate Elon for doing that. But all right, we have more to go, but we're about finished up here. So as I said in the beginning, everyone like and subscribe. And again, apologies for being a little bit sporadic. We'll get back on the horse and get more going here. So thanks for listening. Until next time, we are the Contrarian Hour.